Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's, well, it's incredibly stressful, deeply painful, and honestly, way more common than any of us would like to admit. We're talking about the agonizing experience of watching your adult child navigate a toxic, potentially dangerous relationship. If you're tuning in right now, you might be carrying a really heavy burden of anxiety. You want to help so badly, but every single step just feels like walking through a minefield. So, take a deep breath. Today, we're going to lay out a structured, logical survival blueprint. This is drawn straight from expert crisis management strategies, and it's designed specifically to help you protect your entire family.
Have you ever just felt this unspeakable unease about your child's partner? It usually starts out small. Maybe they have a gentle side, sure, but you've noticed they're emotionally volatile. Maybe they're terribly irresponsible with money, or there's just this undeniable tension in the air whenever they walk into your home. I want to validate those feelings for you right now. That unease, that's your instincts working perfectly. So many parents face this intense frustration of knowing deep down that something is very wrong, but finding that the authorities, like the police, often can't do anything because, technically, a major crime hasn't actually happened yet. It can leave you feeling completely helpless. But listen to me, you are not helpless.
Because here's the thing, when you want to protect your family, you've got to find a quiet strength. Panic, impulsive reactions, just lashing out, that's not going to serve you here. What we're going to build throughout this explainer is a system of concentric circles of protection all around your family. And the most empowering part of all this, we're going to start with actions that are entirely within your control. You don't need your child's permission, and you certainly don't need their partner's permission to start securing your own foundation.
Section 1. Why forcing breakups actually fails.
Okay, so we need a massive paradigm shift here. Our very first instinct as protectors is to just pull our child right out of the fire, right? To demand an immediate breakup. But to actually prevent a disaster, we have to completely suppress that urge. Let's look at the two approaches. If you go with direct confrontation, what actually happens? The partner escalates. They might get violent or vindictive. And even worse, your child might get super defensive, adopting this whole us against the world mentality with their toxic partner. Ultimately, they just close themselves off from you. Now flip that to strategic distance. This prioritizes creating a safe baseline environment while staying supportive. Why? Because at the end of the day, your child has to make the final choice to leave. Keeping those lines of communication wide open between you and your child is literally your top priority. Because if they're isolated from you, they are entirely at the mercy of their partner.
Now, while you're maintaining that strategic distance, you've got some homework to do. Documenting red flags. Memory is super fickle, especially when you're under stress, and authorities deal in facts, not feelings. So calmly record everything. Jot down the specific dates, the exact times, and write out really detailed, objective accounts of any incidents, outbursts, weird demands for money, everything. Save all those memos, emails, and text messages. What you're doing is building a repository of objective facts. If things ever do escalate to threats, violence, or stalking, this log is going to be the absolute critical evidence you need for police or legal consultations.
Section 2. Securing your physical home.
All right, now that we've got the right mindset, let's look at the innermost circle of protection, securing your physical space and your digital info. This is all about making sure that partner has absolutely zero leverage or access to your sanctuary. Let's run through the checklist, and hey, don't let this overwhelm you. Just take it one step at a time. Step 1. Change your physical locks. If there is even a tiny chance a spare key went missing or got copied, eliminate that risk entirely. Step 2. Change your digital locks. Update the home Wi-Fi password, your emails, social media passwords, the whole 9 yards. And Step 3. Turn on two-factor authentication for all your major accounts. This means even if they guess your password, they can't get in from an unknown device. Doing this immediately shuts down a massive avenue for potential harassment or snooping.
And alongside your digital security, you've got to lock down the physical assets. Move cash, bank books, and personal seals into locked, hidden locations. Actually, scratch that. Make sure you even restrict how many people in the family know where these storage spots are. Furthermore, stop leaving mail out on the kitchen counter. Immediately file away or shred any documents that have personal info on them. If a toxic partner has casual access to your house, it is so easy for them to just snap a quick photo of a bank statement or utility bill. By plugging up these information leaks, you're preventing a dangerous individual from exploiting your family.
Section 3. Cutting the financial cord.
Money is a huge, contentious issue here, and toxic partners love using financial manipulation to maintain control. Which brings us to a trap so many loving parents fall into, financial enabling. When you just hand over cash to the partner, or maybe you step in to pay off their debts just to make the problem go away. Well, it doesn't solve the problem. According to the crisis strategies we're looking at, doing that basically guarantees they'll be back demanding the exact same amount, or probably more, all over again. You're setting a really dangerous precedent, and your boundaries just drop right down to zero.
So what do you do if your kid genuinely needs financial help just to survive? The rule here is strict, but it is absolutely necessary. You, the family, must manage those living expenses directly. You pay the landlord directly. You go buy the groceries yourself. You pay the utility bill yourself. But never, under any circumstances, do you just hand cash directly to the partner. This way, you make sure your child has a roof over their head and food in their stomach, but you completely cut off the cash flow that's fueling the partner's reckless behavior.
Section 4. Supporting your child patiently.
As we get our boundaries firmly in place, we have to gently turn our focus back to our child. This is often the most heartbreaking part of it all, especially if the toxic relationship has triggered severe depression. Depression heavily clouds their ability to see the situation clearly, let alone muster the actual energy to leave. So if your child is suffering, you have to respect their pace. Don't rush them to get back to work or aggressively push them to be independent. Instead, just gently support continuous visits to a psychiatric or psychosomatic clinic. Praise the really small things, like just getting out of bed or doing a simple chore. And this is crucial, connect with welfare services so they don't end up completely isolated. A toxic partner thrives on isolation. So by bringing in supportive, neutral third parties, you're beginning to break that spell.
Section 5. Seeking outside support. This part is incredibly critical, especially for parents who are stepping into their later years and simply might not have the physical energy they used to. Always remember this fundamental truth. Protecting your own health is what ultimately protects your family. It is completely okay to feel physically and mentally drained by all of this. You have permission to rest, you have permission to prioritize your own well-being. Because think about it, if you collapse from pure exhaustion, the entire support system holding up your child is going to collapse right along with you.
So let's break down how we turn this into an actionable plan. Listen, you do not have to carry this heavy burden all by yourself. Divide up the roles among family members based on who actually has the physical and mental bandwidth. Open up. Share what's going on with trusted relatives or friends. Ditch the shame. Toxic relationships can happen to literally anyone. Take it step by step. Reach out to administrative support like comprehensive community support centers. And definitely don't hesitate to consult free legal and consumer windows. Delegating this heavy lifting, that's a sign of real wisdom, not weakness.
As we pull all of these strategies together, I really want to ask you, are you going to choose the illusion of a quick breakup or the quiet strength of lasting safety? I know throwing down an ultimatum feels like you're taking action, but it's an illusion that usually just shatters. True success here isn't just about forcing a breakup. It's about methodically building an enduring environment of safety, financial stability, and emotional support. That way, when your child is finally ready to step out of the dark, there is a rock-solid foundation waiting for them.
Look, this journey, it's a marathon, for sure, not a sprint. But please remember, you do not have to carry this alone. Taking just one small action today, changing a single password, documenting one incident, making one phone call, that is a huge victory.
To help you take that next step, we've gathered some specific external resources right out of our source material. If you're dealing with messy debt and legal obligations, look for free legal consultations, sometimes known as legal tears or local legal aid clinics. For money and contract headaches, get in touch with consumer affairs centers. If you need a hand managing daily life or the economic toll of all this, reach out to welfare offices or community support centers. And most importantly, if there's ever any imminent danger, stalking, or violence, you immediately contact the police and dedicated domestic violence hotlines. Keep this information somewhere safe and use these tools to start taking your peace of mind back. We've built your blueprint for survival today, but the most important question is this: what is the very first step you're going to take today to build a fortress around the people you love? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe and please, take care of yourselves.